when we were talking about this,
Yeah.
and I know we'll get into it more in this episode, but I would say if I'm in a relationship, and I've been in a relationship where I haven't been as attracted to the person, and I should have seen this as a red flag or a wake-up call or, hey, what are you doing?
Yeah.
But I would say that if you are constantly looking at other people and being like, oh, well, my partner's not this as hot as this person, and I'm kind of like liking how this other person out here looks and, you know, leaning more that way, that there's something else missing in your relationship, and it's not just the attraction. And what you and I were talking about, and you mentioned, and I think it's true, is that it's intimacy. It's this connection with the person that brings you more than just what they can physically. So you're more attracted to them for more than the physical things.
Right.
And when you have that, like what you and I have, there's like nothing that can penetrate that. And we've been together every day basically for 3 years.
Yeah.
Every single day.
Yeah.
And I am nowhere near any less attracted to you. If anything, I am more attracted to you, and I don't even know how it goes more because it was already at the maximum to you than I was when I first met you. And it's because we have such a deep connection with each other. And like nobody could make me like tempted to leave this situation. And like I don't have any celebrity crushes, but I would say even the celebrity crushes I used to have could knock on my door and be like, I'll give you everything you want. And I'd be like, absolutely not. Right. And I've never felt that way. It's going to sound like I'm just making this up. I'm just saying a bunch of whatever, but it's 100% true. And I'm sitting here telling you that I did used to look at other people when I was in other relationships and try to look. We were talking about this before we started recording, but I would try to look available, but I would never be unfaithful. That's the thing is like, I wasn't looking for somebody to like cheat on my boyfriend at the time with, but I did want to hold his hand less. Like I didn't want to look connected to this person because I felt like I was out of their league and that's horrible. And but you know what? I'm telling you the horrible part so that you'll believe the part that I'm telling you that seems less believable is that you can find a person that you are so attracted to and so connected to that almost everybody else in the whole world disappears to some extent. Like they're still there, but it's almost like they're NPCs, just like, you know, faceless people or something. Like you don't notice them. You're not like, oh, that guy's hot or that girl's hot. You're just like, there's a person.
Yeah. Yeah. And I feel exactly the same way. And it's like, and I think, you know, like you said before, maybe, you know, if you're making yourself available in the relationship, it's not like you're going to be unfaithful, but maybe if the celebrity crush does show up at your door, you'd be like, okay, we're breaking up because I'm going with this person now.
It would be more tempting.
Right.
Just like these guys who are like getting more and more tempted by these women. Like you don't know if maybe some girl that they think is super hot is going to tempt them to leave their relationship, and the relationship's otherwise good for the most part. And how does that make like a woman feel? And then this guy is leaving for, I actually saw a quote, I think it was on TikTok, that people sometimes will have 90% of like everything they want in a relationship.
Yeah.
And they'll be missing the 10. And then they'll see the 10, which in this case that we're talking about is maybe the attraction.
Right. Yeah.
They will leave the 90% for the 10 and then realize that all they really have is the 10.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that always happens, but some of these situations are like that, where like they have something perfectly good. And same with women too. Like they have a perfectly good guy and they otherwise like him, but maybe they saw this more successful guy hit on them at somewhere that they were at, the grocery store. Yeah. And now they're like, well, maybe this is a better
Maybe I do deserve this.
Right. Or something like that. So it's very tricky, you know, and I think it goes back to appreciating what you have. If you have something good, if you know you have something good, otherwise, if you're in something that you're like unsure about, or, you know, you aren't as attracted to them, and, you know, you owe it to the person to have a conversation, see if you guys can fix it first and foremost, and connect better, have deeper intimacy, because that might solve all your problems.
Yeah.
If that doesn't work, then it's time to reevaluate the relationship and potentially end it.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Yeah. And I agree. And it does, I think it does come down to the intimacy, is what people don't realize, is that if you have that depth of level of intimacy, then you're not interested, you're not looking for somewhere. Well, and here's the thing to think about with this, right? Because they're kind of connected, right? Mm-hmm. So if you are in a position, you're in your relationship now, and if that perfect person, like I can say as a guy, is like the most attractive woman you ever seen, came along and you would leave your relationship for that person, whatever it is, for females as well, with the, you know, the perfect guy or whatever, then there's two things that are going to happen here, right? So one, it means that you are lacking the intimacy, first of all, because you should be with a person that you'd be like, it doesn't mean that you even would be with them forever. I mean, your relationship could change, but if you're with them in this moment, you should be like, nothing could take me away. There's no other person that could come, you know, because if you don't have that, then you do have a lack of intimacy.
Yeah.
But also it's cyclic, because if you are doing that, if you're out there looking and you're thinking that someone else could come along that's better, then it prevents you from having intimacy. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
Because
you're not as attached to that person because you're keeping yourself available in some degree for something better to come along.
And you're making it so the other person, the person you're in the relationship with right now, cannot be as intimate with you because they can't feel safe. Right. Because they know you might not be saying I'm looking around, but they know when your Instagram is still public. Right. They know when you're still posting thirst traps. They know when those things are happening and that you're still trying to make yourself available, or you're trying to make it seem like you're not with that person. It's obvious. And so they're not going to feel safe. And if they're not going to feel safe, you can't have a level of depth of intimacy without.
There's a gridlock.